Okay, so this is our Soundtrap form assignment or form project number 1. And what I recommend us doing, and what I will actually hopefully be able to give you, is a template. So there are 2 different types of tracks. If we open up a piano track, I can make what is called MIDI clips. So this clip right here, the intro is going to be 4 bars. The A section is going to be 8 bars. Is that 8? Let's count. This thing is 8. Oh, I went one too many. Then I can move this slider over. Does anyone know what this slider is at the top?
Yes.
What does that do?
It says what plays and what doesn't.
Kind of. It's the loop bar. So if I move this to be 1 bar and I turn it on by clicking it, or you can click this little looper over here, it'll keep going back. So if you guys get stuck in a loop, just unclick it. And I was just using it also as a measurement tool because I measured 4 and then I measured 8. So if you look at the assignment, you'll see the first section needs to be 4, 8, 8, 4. And I set up this template for you, and I'll give this to you as an assignment. So you'll have these red bars. Now, we want to tell a story. So I recommend you using loops. We'll deal with melody and beat creation later. But if we go up to the upper right-hand corner, we see loops here. The other way you can add loops is right here on the home screen. We click Browse Loops, and that'll bring this up. So what a loop is it's a pre-recorded sample, and you can listen to it. What I'd like you to think about is the setting, the people, what happened. So person, place, or thing, adjectives, nouns, things that are happening, right? So just like a story, we want to set the scene. So when I set a scene, personally, well, you can do it however you want, but I like some chords to set my scene. So I'm going to type in chords. Oh, we got some piano chords here. Cool. We could drag those in. I would love it if you guys didn't just go with the first thing you hear, but actually do some reconnaissance and go all the way down to the bottom. But for sake of time, here we go. We've got the first one. I set the scene. And what is this place I just set? I said we're in a, what does this make you think of? Okay, we're at a funeral. Great. Now we need to introduce, after 4, I need to introduce a main character. So now I'm going to go for a melody. That was a little too much for me. That one's okay. Miss Yvonne doesn't like that one. Okay, these are fitting. Dreamy piano, so I'm going to add this here. Why isn't it playing? Cool, so now we have a little bit of a melody going on. The other thing that I like in my songs is some drums. So I go and click drums. What do we want? How about beat, kick, snare? We've got that one. I like this one. That's a little fast for a funeral, right? So I can go in here and I can go to. I should be able to make it slower, right? Add loop to library. I can make it slower here, but then that's going to change the whole thing. You know what? We might be stuck with that beat. I think it sounds okay. Okay, so then I'm going to... Something needs to change. Let's look at our form so far. We have intro, A section. Oops. And then now we need a B section here. So what is something that could change? The melody could change. So I'll go for a new melody. We could use this guitar. And we need to shorten this. And we can keep the beat going, or we could change the beat. Let's do a new beat. Okay, so now this is the very, very basic bare bones of what I'm asking you to do. We have an intro where we set the scene. We introduced a main character, then something changed, and then we went back to the intro for the end. So let's hear the whole thing now. So if you didn't like the guitar, then you get to make your own song and change it on your own. One thing I want to bring to your attention. Do you guys notice that the first piano thing went through the entire song?
Yeah.
Does anyone have a reason why that sounds good and why I did that? Achilles? It's like the basis for the rest of the song, yeah. So it's like our foundation. What I want you to think about this as is if I was going to set the scene for a story, I said it was in a classroom. Does anyone here have a teleportation device where we can say, oh, we're in a classroom, but then all of a sudden, all of a sudden we went to Mars. Let's see what happens when we go to... Here's what happens if we change the chords right away. That sounds pretty cool, but we didn't introduce what happens in that place. It would be like me saying, once upon a time, there was a community swimming pool. And then on Mars, there were some students. And you're like, well, what happened to that community swimming pool? You didn't even tell us about that. So you see the way that I introduced we said this was a funeral, but then I introduced some characters at the funeral. Then something happened at the funeral. Can we stop that, please? Thank you. And then we closed it out. They stayed at the funeral the whole time. At some point, you can leave, but you have to make sure you take the listener with you. You can't just teleport right now. Once you learn how to stay in one setting, then you can teleport. Learn the rules, then break the rules. Does that make sense? once you learn them. You can't break the rules until you learn the rules. Okay, so there is my video. Hopefully that helps. I'm going to stop.